Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much.
So welcome back to the shop, everybody. Now this week there's a couple areas on the boat that I want to do a little bit of a deep dive on. And with the first area being this dip in through here. Now, if you didn't catch last week's video, the short story is that lengthwise from here to the forward part of this cabin, right in through here, there's about a 1/2 inch dip. And it's only right through here. From this point forward, it's dead flat. But again, there's a bit of a flare here, and all kind of peeking up to the back edge of the cabin top, which is supported by a bulkhead. This has not moved. Now, I don't know if this dip in here is something that was intentional from the factory, or if it's just fatigued, something that has just kind of developed over the last 54 years. But I'm not seeing any stress cracks anywhere in here. I mean, if you're going to see it anywhere, you would catch these stress cracks right up in here in the radiuses. I'm not seeing any sign of that. There's no sign of cracking or crazing stress damage anywhere up on this deck. So that kind of leads me to believe that it might be intentionally formed in from the factory. I don't know. I mean, if it is, no offense, but I think it's kind of dumb. I don't understand what the logic was. Water's going to pool right here and then flow right over the sides, right over your port lights. I think that's just dumb. So what I'm planning to do is, because this is essentially where things start to rise up, I'm just going to try and shave about 1/4 of an inch in thickness from here back. Just try and shave that down. If I happen to go through, all the way through the fiberglass laminate here on deck, if I go through, I go through. That's kind of one of the beauties of working with fiberglass, is that there's very, very few things that you can do that aren't fairly easily fixed. So I'm going to try and shave 1/4 inch off of here and see where that puts me. I have a feeling I may end up having to build up a little bit more kind of going forward. A couple layers of 1708, and there's really no downside to that kind of approach. It's going to stiffen this up. This is where the let's see, where these are going to be the Jenny tracks. Back here are going to be the tracks for the spinnaker. But so beefing this up, this is also where the chain plates come through. There's no downside to beefing up this deck a little bit. Now, because I'm going to be shaving material off of this top, any material that you remove, you kind of want to replace it, at least in that thickness. So my plan is, providing I don't actually sand through, but providing I don't, then I'm going to extend one final piece of glass from the forward area of the cabin all the way back, wrap it down around this edge, because now this is going to be somewhat compromised, at least temporarily. Now on the interior side, I've got all the latitude that I want. If I take 1/4 inch off of here, I can add 1/4 inch of thickness on the bottom side. So at the end, after everything is all said and done, I'm not losing any thickness. I'm just slightly changing the profile of this aft edge. So that's the plan going into it. Now, last week, there were quite a few people that had some other suggestions on how to deal with this. One of them being, well, why don't I just come in from the interior, so from down below in the cabin, and essentially put a wedge underneath here to kind of push this back up, and then glass over top of it. And while that, on paper, that does make a lot of sense, this deck, and I'll touch more on this here in a second, but this deck is solid glass. There is no coring material. And with how sagged it is right now, if I try and force that up, glass over top of it with a couple layers of glass, it's going to trap a lot of tension between that, because this deck is still going to want to pop back down, but that top skin of fiberglass that goes over top of it, that's going to be under a lot of tension. And I have a feeling that in short order, in a short period of time, something's going to give, and it's either going to result in some cracking right along through here, or even potentially straight up debonding from that top skin from this existing deck. So that's one reason. That's one reason why I'm not going to be taking that kind of approach. The other approach, again, was presuming that this deck is cored, which most of them are. This particular boat, it just doesn't have any coring, which was kind of why I was attracted to it. There is nothing that can rot. Now, because this deck does not have any coring, let me back that up. If this deck were cored, then what I would have the option of doing, cutting this top fiberglass skin off, exposing the core. I could dig that coring material out. Now at that point, all I'd be left with is just a thin bottom skin, fiberglass skin. If I had that, then I absolutely could come in from the underside, push that bottom skin up a little bit. There isn't much tension there. I'd have to lay in a new coring material that would be at that new profile, then glass over top of that. That would 100% work if the deck were cored, which it's not. So, you know, while a good attempt or a good idea, it's just not going to apply to this particular situation. So that's why I'm taking the grinder to this. Well, not necessarily the grinder, more specifically, a big ass belt sander. I figure, you know, the wider footprint of the sanding pad that I have on here, the less likely it's going to be that I'm going to create, you know, scallops, you know, kind of all the way, you know, from here to here. It's just going to help to give me a more consistent profile or uniform taper, I guess, from here and through here. So that's why I'm using this. All right, well, an hour and a half later, this is where things are at. And I think it's at a point now where I'm gonna call it good, but let me kind of show you how everything turned out. So I've knocked down, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe 1/4 of an inch, a little bit less. But right now, along this length in here, what was close to a 1/2 inch is basically down to about 1/8. So that's looking really, really good. This area through here, this is one of the old patches it's still a little bit low. So again, that's going to be a job for some fairing compound. Come back up to here. Again, the only low spot right in through here, that is a repair area. Fairing compound. Then as we get up towards the top, again, that's well within the means for the fairing compound. And looking at it port to starboard, I did not lose my camber, so the water is still going to easily shed off to the sides. And then as we get further forward here, it was never a problem. It was just basically right here to here. So I think this looks really, really good. So now that the bulk of the material has been knocked down, before I can start cutting or even laying any glass, I need to go ahead and sand the rest of this cabin top. Specifically, what I'm looking to do is knock down all of the existing non-skid texture. And at this point, it is not critical to sand it all the way back down to bare fiberglass, although that is going to happen in spots. The goal here is just to make this surface completely smooth, and if the gel coat is thick, to sand that down so that it is nice and thin. Because thick gel coat is very, very brittle, which makes it prone to cracking. All right, I'm happy with how everything is coming along, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get the glass out of the way, and I'm gonna wipe the surface down with a surface cleaner. Now, this is basically to ensure that I get good bonding or good adhesion with the fiberglass when I actually go ahead and put it down. And speaking of the fiberglass, I'm gonna be using 1708 and laminating polyester resin. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I using this instead of using epoxy? And just like last week, this all comes down to time management. Now, the reasons last week compared to this week for the time management are vastly, vastly different. Point in case, if you look down at my fancy footwear that I'm wearing here, this is not by choice. It is already a bit late in the afternoon here, and overnight we got over 1 foot of snow, and that's on the level. With some drifting, it was well over 2 feet. And when we've got that kind of snow on the drive from the house coming up to the shop here, there's no way my truck's gonna make it, so I gotta hoof it. And the reality is that polyester resin is gonna wet this glass out faster than trying to work epoxy into it. Either would work. I mean, epoxy would absolutely work here, but I'm gonna get a faster turnaround using polyester resin because after I get this laid up while it's curing and before it gets dark, I gotta jump down and I gotta clear all the snow so that we can get out of the house. And because I am under a little bit of a time crunch, I'm mixing this material hot. So I'm catalyzing this poly resin at a full 2%. I keep it a little bit on the cool side in the shop here, around 62, 63 degrees. So juicing it up to a full 2%. I'm hoping that by the time I'm done plowing, that this material is going to be gelled over to the point where I can go over top of it with another waxed material so that this can fully cure overnight. Well, right about now, it's time to cross your fingers and kind of hope for the best. Now, I only did the starboard side on this, and I did that for a couple of reasons. The main one being I wanted to kind of have a proof of concept just to make sure that this approach, start to finish, was going to work the way that I think it's going to work before I tackled and opened up both sides. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to work out the way that I think. But, you know, again, I'll have to wait until I do the sanding and see how much fairing compound is actually going to be involved to get everything kind of where I want it to be. The other reason I didn't record or do the other side was that, quite honestly, I didn't think it was going to be very interesting to be able to watch the same thing done twice. I mean, I can put a spin on a lot of things, but that's kind of a tough one to swing there. So I only decided to record the starboard side, and right now I think it's looking good, but I'll find out on Monday morning. Now, although this week overall went fairly well, I'm still a little bit bummed. There were two additional things that I really wanted to be able to incorporate into this week's video, but whatever. Life had other plans. Mother Nature decided to put me to work. So those two things are going to have to get punted till next weekend, but I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Now, one thing that I've learned is that unless I have a very specific topic that I want to have incorporated into that particular week's video, if it's not going to be part of that week's game plan, then it just doesn't get done. And for the last month, I've been dying to take a closer look at what my options are looking like for being able to lay out this interior. Specifically, when I'm talking about the port and starboard quarter berths. These are the two areas that are going to be designated for where my girls are going to be able to sleep when we're out on the boat. Hopefully this summer. Well, actually, not hopefully. I already have a slip reserved for this summer, so it damn well better happen. But I wanted to take some measurements, look at what kind of things are going to have to be modified in order to make these things work. Specifically, the length. Now, I have some ideas, but again, until I dive in, start taking things apart, I don't really know. It sounds good in theory, but until you know, you don't really know. The other thing that I want to incorporate, again, this is still focusing on the interior, is I am starting to have some hardware come in that I'm going to be using for finishing off this interior. Specifically, the unit that I've been looking at for the refrigeration as well as the freezer. Now, I've only had a chance to play with this unit for a couple of nights, and so far I'm extremely impressed, very efficient. But I want to run through its paces before I actually kind of give my opinion on it. But everything that I've read information-wise, this thing looks rock solid. So what I'm looking for on the interior, I need a place to store this thing, and specifically someplace that's going to be very, very convenient. So I have a feeling that a lot of next week is going to be focusing on the interior stuff. I'm going to button up the exterior glasswork here that I've already shown on video. I'm going to button that up off camera because nobody wants to watch the same thing twice. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that and then put together a game plan for the interior. And I hope you find it interesting. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up right here. So now, as always, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this interesting. And if you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those down below. I'll do my best to follow up with you. And as always, I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And I'll see you in the next video.
This has been a Boatworks Display Protection.